Morning, my friend. When you decide to make a change from your old self to your new self, and you start to take action and you start to change your beliefs and your mindset, eventually, and you might have realized this, things tend to happen, events tend to take place, conflicts happen, or just shit happens where you instantly fall back or you start doubting yourself and your journey to that progress that you want to make. And I want to cover this in this video and exactly what you can do to prevent falling back when this happens. And a couple of ways you might be able to relate to this. I'll give you some examples from my own life, which I just wrote down, is when I began to make some progress and build confidence in myself 2, 3, and 4 years ago, 2020, 21, 22, and 23. I would have these seasons of my life where I would be so confident and so consistent and doing my daily habits. I would meditate, I would work out, I would actively try to be happy and, be be outcome independent so that I don't really react to anything that happens in my life. And I went on this real nice progress for quite some time, to a point where when I started to suddenly begin like some things might change. The universe, if you want to call it, or God, if you also want to call it that, throws like this event, a test, some sort of thing that happens where inevitably you're faced with conflict, and this conflict resolves or it blows up, and then you start to doubt yourself. You react to this outcome because you value it so much, because it's important to you, right? The conflict usually happens with someone who you care about, like your parents, somebody you love, someone who you work for, right? And so you react to the outcome, and the outcome is usually bad, and you start to doubt yourself, you start to doubt your confidence, your self-esteem drops, and then you spiral back down. Now suddenly all this progress that you've been making is shadowed by fear, by anxiety, by stress. And then you start to fall back to who you were originally, the person, the old self, the person that you were trying to develop away from and develop into this new self. Well, you just go back into that cycle. And so what happens? You stay in that cycle for a while, and eventually 6 months later, and this is me, you pick up that energy back, you start to get that motivation back. So then you start taking action, right? Now you're getting back into it. You're making some progress again. You're getting to that new self again, and bang, 4 months later, conflict. Event happens, outcome happens. You react to this outcome negatively. You start to doubt yourself and your ability and your confidence, and the cycle repeats itself. Another example that I had is, I've been on seasons where I took YouTube seriously and where I had no confidence. There were times where I was really committed and really valuing just how much videos I wanted to put out there and how much I wanted to help people. So I would record with full intent. I would look forward to recording. I was serious, and I saw the vision. I saw the future for myself. And when I had just started to believe it, something happened. A conflict with my family. I'm breaking out with my family, right? Or I lose my job, or something just happened. And I reacted badly to that. And so my mentality changed, my mental health dropped. I started to become more stressed, and I started to react to things more, react to things not going my way even more. And so I lost that motivation. I lost that drive, that energy and ambition that was shadowed by, again, fear and anxiety. And so that led me down a depression where I stopped uploading for a really long time. I didn't come back to it. I lost confidence, not interest. And so a couple months later, I started getting back that again. Again, the cycle repeated itself, right? The issue is, what's happening is there's a transition from the old self to the new self. And when an event happens, what's happening is the old self is always looking to get you back to that old self because it's comfortable and it's safe. Right? It's safe. It's comfortable to be lying on the bed, and it's comfortable going to your job and coming home and taking a hot shower and playing some video games, right? It's comfortable doing that. It's comfortable eating out and not cooking. It's comfortable just staying in bed and sleeping in. That's comfort. Why would we want to lose that? That is exactly what the old self is thinking. The new self, who hasn't materialized yet, is thinking, wait, if I just sacrifice this comfort now, in the future, I will have even more comfort because I will have access to greater utility and value out there, right? If I increase my own value, then I can access things of higher value out there, right? You can get a better car, you can travel whenever you want, you don't have to work probably, you can eat the best foods, you don't have to worry about bills, right? All of these are amazing benefits. But the old self is comfortable, and the new self, to get there, you need to do some work. And the work at first is fun. You do the work, it's encouraging. But what happens is the events, and this is the most important part. The mindset shift here is this is a test. It is simply a test, nothing more, nothing less. And it's a test to see how you will react. And that is exactly what will determine whether you proceed or not. Because let's look at it in your life and from my life. Every time that big test happened and we reacted negatively to it, we fell into that cycle and rut again. So what if we react differently to it this time? I'm going to be moving out next week. And for the past few weeks and this week and next week, I know it has been stressful and it will be stressful. I've been getting more phone calls. People have been saying, no, we need to move out. Like, we need to ASAP, right? They've been saying this, trying to stress me out. The world is trying to stress me out. Everything around me is trying to stress me out. This is a test. I've been through this many times now. I've been through this countless times. I can't even count it on both hands. I know this is a test. So what am I going to do? Remain unaffected, right? People calling me, hey, we need to do this. Okay, cool. Yep. All right, cool. And you just go back to what you were doing, right? It's important to maintain that energy that you have, that frequency that you have, so you don't lose track of what you are currently working towards. That is most important. Whenever you try to improve, whenever you try to make a commitment in life, there will be things happening that will test you to see whether you're serious, whether you're committed or not. I used to work as a dating coach for a whole year. We would have people coming in the first week who seemed very committed and they were very excited. And what would happen is 2-3 weeks in, they would face their first rejection and they wouldn't show up for 4 or 5 weeks later. And they would suddenly come back off at the end, realizing that, holy shit, this is part of the test. This was part of the journey, right? It was all a test. When you make the big commitment to say, you know what, I want to improve my dating life, and you go out there, you feel confident, you approach some women, you get some good interactions. When you get your first rejection, if you react badly to that, it will only reaffirm, yep, I'm not good with women, my dating life sucks, let's go back to that comfort. But that moment, that test, is where you need to remain unaffected and say, you know what, that's cool, let's just move on to the next one. That is how you need to face it. It is not so much about the actions that you're doing. It is more about how you view the journey and the conflicts, the problems that come up with it. And the best ways to do is remain unaffected. How can you practice? Remaining unaffected is a skill. It's a skill, right? Just like an RPG where you have your strength, agility, charisma, it is a skill that can be leveled up. The higher the level of not really caring about an outcome, remaining outcome independence, it means the more often it will happen unconsciously and the more you can do it with less resistance, right? For example, if your house blew up, if you're level 100, you could probably be like, yeah, oh, like that probably sucks, but it's all right. But if you're level 1, you're going to react to it pretty badly. So we can level this up. How can you level it up? Meditation. Meditate 2-3 minutes every single day, 2-3 minutes every other day. Start very low, but meditation is the act of remaining unaffected. It's coming back to a focus point. For the past 15 days, I've been meditating every single day without skipping a beat. I made this commitment to myself in the first, and as you can see, every single day I've meditated. Along the ways, I felt tired. Events have happened. I've had to work a lot this week. I took more shifts than I've ever taken in the past 5 months. I felt really tired. I didn't want to meditate most nights, but I still did it. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I still did it every night. Here I am. Remain unaffected. Remain cool, calm, and collected, and you shall be elevated. See you, bro.